So this is how this Ghanaian UK-based mother of three ended up in jail. It's quite a shocking story, but just listen. So this lady who lives in the UK here with her husband who works in IT, earning about 350 to about 450, pounds almost every day because it's based on like a contract job. They were doing fine and they were renting a 4-bedroom flat somewhere in North London. This guy was doing well. He came as a student first and then, he was able to settle down. So the friend that he came to school with in the UK, that one immediately finished. That one said he was going back to Ghana because he's more into politics. He said he wants to go into politics. So that's how that one left. After some years, that was when he reconnected with his friend, and the friend said, my brother, currently in Ghana now, we are the big boys, so we are now into politics and we are making it big. These boys are buying houses here and there because they are into politics. And that's how this guy in the UK here, he became trouble. Like, boys that we know each other, boys are now buying houses like 1,000, 1,000. They were just spending so much money because they were into politics. So one of those days, his friend said he was going to come to the UK. So that's how this guy, arranged his latest car that he bought. He went to pick his friend at the airport, and that's how they were discussing. And the friend started telling him, "Oh boy, you're just wasting your time in UK here. Boys are in Ghana. We're already cashing out in politics. We are doing well. Boys are buying houses everywhere, And this guy was like, "You mean it?" So when he was about to go, the friend said, "Take this £1,500, give it to your children, let them buy things." That was when this guy said, "Wow, now I really believe that you guys are doing fine." So this guy went home. When he went home, he told his wife, he said, "My dear, we need to go back to Ghana. My friends have promised me that once I come to Ghana and join politics, things will be better, things will be okay." The wife was like, "Are you okay? Something wrong with you? Something we've spent years to build in this country. You just want to go to Ghana because you feel your friend." He said, "This thing is true because these are my genuine friends and I believe them." So the lady said, "There's no way I'll follow you to Ghana. When you go, when you're settled, then we can join you. And besides, we have an autistic son who is receiving the best of care here. If we go to Ghana, who will take care of him?" The man said, "It's true." So he said he was going to go. So he packed his things and left. When he went to Ghana, he went at least with some money. So he was spending, because as a big man who wants to join politics, he needs to spend money. He was everywhere. He was the rave of the town, spending so much money for friends. And, before you know what, women started coming in. The wife was hearing rumors that, he was spending money on women, but he said, no, it's just rumors from people. And before you know what, he wasn't doing anything. It was the wife who was now working to give him money. And it got to a point where the man said, this one that you're trying to pay the house rent, only you're taking care of 3 children. What you need to do, rent out 3 of our rooms to people, and you and the children can stay in one room. The woman said, how will I do that? I said, just do it so that we'll have enough money. So that's how this woman rented out 3 rooms, because it was a 4-bedroom flat. She was the one holding the living room and one of the rooms. And then all the money these guys were paying her, she was sending it to the husband in Ghana. The man was enjoying and lavishing money. It got to a point where she was now owing the house rent because she couldn't pay, even though she was collecting rent from those people. The landlord came to her and said, this one that it's been months now, you haven't paid me. I have no choice than to evict you. She pleaded, but the landlord said no. That's how somebody advised her. He said, you're in the country. Why not go for universal credit? Besides, you have an autistic son. Tell them you're a single mother. Go for universal credit and apply for autistic allowance. Your son will be eligible. That's how this woman went. Told the council that she's homeless, she's been driven out of her house, she has 3 children, she's a single mother. The council said, okay, we have heard you, but before we do anything for you, let us know the heartless landlord that has chased you out of your house despite knowing that you have an autistic son. She was reluctant to say, she gave them a wrong number. The council said, we can't do anything until you give us the number of your landlord. We want to speak to him. So when they finally spoke to the landlord was like, for the last 2 years, I haven't seen any children in those houses. This is because the woman, she has carried her children. The husband said, just bring the children, send the children to Ghana. I'll put them in a boarding school and let them just be there. You just manage yourself. Things will be better. So the woman heed to the advice. Carry these children, sent to the man in Ghana. He put them in boarding school. Even the autistic one, he just looked for somewhere and they were taking care of them. When the landlord spoke to the council, he told them, he said, for the last 2 years, he hasn't seen any children in this house. Besides, it is the woman who has been living in that house, and she has been renting his house to other tenants, and they are not paying. She's not even paying. Why she's collect? So it was then the council people, they didn't tell her that they've gone behind to do most of the investigation. They just told her one of those, they say, oh, yeah, come, we are ready to give you a house, we are ready to do some few documentation. When she came in, the fraud unit was already there. She didn't know. That's how when she came in, they just arrested her. When they checked, she has been collecting, she has been on universal credit, lying and collecting free money for the last 2 years, collecting disability allowance for the last 2 years, collecting so many allowances which she wasn't eligible for. So it was there, they arrested her. When she called her husband, she even had the information that her husband had done a secret traditional wedding in Ghana with one of the ladies he has been helping himself with. Now, she's left all her by herself. She's going to jail because they found her guilty, and now she's crying, saying she did all of this for love, and this is how it has backfired on her. So please, those of you who are planning to do that kind of thing, just know that it will backfire. Share this video to anyone who needs to hear. A word they say is enough for the wise. Cheers.